So, what shall we do? I thought we will just talk about the concept of compensation, how the mind compensate, and actually we compensate. The mind is a pity. It's not doing anything wrong. But we do all the funny things and blame the body, blame the mind, blame the emotion, blame our existence, blame. So how did we come to this extent of blaming the whole universe? So I thought we just talk about compensation so that we don't have these, issues. The way we compensate is a silent one. Sometimes we speak about it and say, like the weather is bad or something. But all the time, the compensation is very quiet. We are silently complaining, silently, If you complain with a little bit of noise, at least we can understand and rectify. But if we are silently believing in the compensation, it's difficult to rectify, That's how I see compensation. It's very simple. The seesaw, children play, one side, one child presses, the other one goes up or goes down, depending on the weight. So how our consciousness, the whole consciousness, not the Freud's consciousness. Freud's consciousness is like three-part, conscious, unconscious, and the subconscious. That is Freud and Jung also. But I'm saying it's nice to know there is three aspects to the mind, but there is no such category as three. The mind is one. That's what I'm saying. When we are looking at it as categories, conscious mind, subconscious mind, unconscious mind, then it becomes something else. It becomes the theory of psychology, But we are not talking about a theory of psychology. We are talking about philosophy. And here we are talking about the conscious and the unconscious and all this as one mind, but it has a karmic effect. So it's basically karma and how karma acts on our mind. Everything that we are exposed to, we remember. Some things we remember more, some things we don't remember so much. We don't want to remember. Some things we block. And so this makes the difference between compensation and actually living our life. Because when we are blocking, then we compensate. Say for example, our reaction is very angry. But then there is something deep inside that we are not acknowledging. We are not looking into it. Why are we angry? What made us to become angry? And different children react differently. The same situation, some other child will just not participate in it. Some other child acts angrily. Some other child might be philosophical, try to understand the phenomena and mechanism of anger. So, but what is within our mind, within our experience, within our memory, And that is important to consider seriously, because that is the one which causes us to react in the external world. And we react, but we react because of past experience, We are not reacting because of our present state of mind. We are looking at a new experience, a new situation, a new aspect of relationship with a very past experience, which we learned as children, And we never analyze it. We never get the time to analyze it. And we pass our life's journey with this anger as an emotion, And whatever gets into the problem of this anger, we react. So for me, anger is a panic state. We panic. That means we completely believe that we cannot do anything. We surrender. Then we become panicky. Then we become anger. That's how I see anger. The panic state expressed is anger. So we always are aware of everything, but then when we are afraid, we block the awareness. And then the compensation begins. And this comes usually as early as infancy, when we are toddlers. We start looking at the situations either favorably or not favorable. And when it's not favorable, then we react with different shades of emotions. And it becomes a pattern. And this pattern exists throughout our life. And in the spiritual world, especially like Tantra, Buddhism, most of the spiritual world, we are brought up not to walk into this crisis. We are brought up to become wholesome, to look at the world with a wholesome attitude, So if you look at Christianity, they have these 10 commandments, to get rid of all this negative, fearful attitude towards the world, And then if you look at Buddhism, they have the Eightfold Path, the right speech, right thought, right livelihood, right effort, it goes on, So in the Yoga Sutra, you have Yama and Niyama and the subcategories. Same thing, almost same as, they're all same. They're expressing different aspects of metaphysics, so therefore they sound different, So when you look at it, then they are thinking, or they are saying, you are creating your karma. They are not saying you come with karma. There is one aspect where they are saying you are born as so and so due to karma. And to overcome this karma, we were talking before, you have to observe your Dharma. Really enjoy your presence in the universe. Dharma is like that. If you really know that this is you, and this is your life, and this is your expression, then you are actually not participating in karma, you are returning, So we talked about it in Dharma, Artha and Kama. So in this case, the consciousness, the word consciousness is another weird thing, because in English language, life essence becomes consciousness. Also, the awareness is also consciousness in English writing. The language, I'm talking about language, not the people. So the awareness is confused with consciousness, or taken as, the interchangeably. But in the tantric world, consciousness is a deeper aspect of yourself. The deeper aspect, the deeper energy aspect, let us call it energy aspect that is within the DNA. The DNA is manufactured by this consciousness energy. Let's imagine like that. And the DNA makes these facilities, The facilities is the body, the mind, the body, all this, the brain. So when you look at it, the elephant has a different facility. The chicken has a different facility. I have a different facility, like this. So when you look at it, then, somewhere along the line, we put the hierarchy trap, We go into a big trip of hierarchy. The chicken is not good, so I have to eat it. You know, the chicken is no good, but I have to eat it. The elephant, I have to control him. How many babies he have in the park? Otherwise, the world will become full of elephants. We cannot allow it. You know, how can we allow an elephant world? We are the central epoch of the universe. Blah, 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 blah. But you see, underneath everything is fear. And we are compensating with intellectually. Elephant cannot have so many babies. Chicken is less than me, I can eat it. So when you look at it seriously, how to get out of this is what all the spiritual philosophy speaks. If you understand God's Lord's Prayer, you know, he's talking about a kingdom of God. And then we put hierarchy. Who told you to put the hierarchy? God is expressing his beautiful message that we are all living beings and we are all his children. But then we go and put the hierarchy and say, the top is God and the bottom is this. But God didn't say he's on the top or in the bottom. He says he's omnipresent, he's everywhere. But we put him up in the pyramid on the top. So when you analyze the Lord's Prayer, there is no such thing in the Lord's Prayer. Lord's Prayer is the love of the Lord for these, his children, the universe. So like that, Buddhism has its own right speech, right. What Buddhism is saying, if you go into wrong speech, you accumulate and you compensate very seriously. You know? Then if you right effort, if you put wrong effort, then you accumulate the wrong consciousness. You know, the psychological consciousness. I'm not talking about a universal consciousness. I'm talking about a little consciousness. So wrong effort registers or accumulates wrong things, and we start compensating. So Buddha is saying wrong livelihood also does this. Wrong livelihood, you know, it reimpresses wrong things, wrong emotions, wrong memory. No? So in Buddhism, this wrong effort, wrong livelihood, all these are very important for the practitioner to keep the conscience clean. It's like a mirror. No? It's like a clean self. So in Chinese philosophy, they have what we call the pakwa. You know, if you go into Chinese homes, not so much now, but in the past, they have this pakwa, you know, the 3 lines this side, 3 broken lines that side, you know, all that. And in the center is a mirror. You know, the mirror is yourself. The mirror is reflecting. But the mirror should reflect without any compensation. It should be a clear reflection. So the world we experience is actually a projection of ourself. Our awareness creates the reality called the world. You know, what we are aware of makes it the world. And sadly, this is dependent on the balance between love and fear. You know, if we love, we have strength and we have a very positive experience. If we have fear, then we have very limited experience because we are hesitating to participate in the world. So for the tantrics, the world is a projection of ourself. Self in the sense, our intimate self, our mind, our spirit, whatever we want to call it. So usually they depict this as a skull, you know. So this skull frightens everybody, you know. The whole world is afraid of skull because undealt with ideas of death, of course, will make us afraid of skulls. You know, we didn't deal with the problem of death. We postponed this idea. So since we postponed the idea of death, a skull will trigger all the fear elements, you know, and then we will say, oh, this is not correct, this is not right, this is not religion, this is sorcery, this is misery, this is blah, 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 blah. You can read all this in Wikipedia or somewhere, the misery of the world. So, so the skull is a good example, a good symbol to understand that, the human world is a projection. We project it. Our conditionings allows so much projections. So what these ancient guys are saying is that, this skull is projecting. But then what is this skull projecting? It is projecting your innermost self. Your innermost self is pure awareness. If you're Zen Buddhist, you will speak a lot more about awareness. If you are Vedic, you will speak a lot about Atman and soul. If you're a Buddhist, you will speak about anatta, the idea of soul with no attributes. Christianity, of course, like the Vedics, they speak about soul. Tantra will, of course, say that the consciousness creates the basis for the awareness to express. So all are saying in different language the same thing, because they are having slightly different systems. And because of the system, the words change. But the fact is, our consciousness becomes our human consciousness. It becomes our awareness. And that's what we project. And that's what we experience. So what the Tantric is saying is that we have fear, then we will only react within the fear limitation. And so they call these conditionings, and they will say, drop these conditionings. How to undo these conditionings? But this is not only the Tantric. If you look at the Bible, it's also saying the same thing, maybe a little different sound and different words. If you look at the Quran, it's also saying the same thing. But we somehow made it political today. We are looking at spiritual philosophy with the lens of politics. That is very sad. Spiritualism didn't come with politics. And politics, the word politics and Plato and his symposium and everything has nothing to do with what these professors of ignorance are preaching. Plato didn't talk what these professors are talking. Plato talked about the universal balance. He's talking about the universe, the cosmos, everything, the world experience. He's not talking about, I'm right, you are wrong. This is a Californian idiot, I'm sorry to say this. I want to say sometimes very strongly so that you remember not to enter into this garbage. I always feel that because we are not expressing, we are not saying, and the world is sliding away, it's becoming very negative in one sense, And so politics is nothing that Plato talked about. Plato was talking about a cosmic balance. Aristotle was talking about the cosmic balance. They are all metaphysicians. So anyway, coming back to our idea, so the whole world then becomes our projection and our experience. What we project, our conditionings, limits our projections, and allows a limited experience. But if we can get rid of these conditionings and allow love, we have a bigger experience, a beautiful experience. Like children wearing pink glass, they see the world through pink eyes. But what the beauty of all this is, we are supposed to be very, very clean. That's the whole, whether it's Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Vedism, Tantricism, whatever you want to call it, Zen, they want us to be clean. They don't want us to be affected by the limitations, the compensation, the seesaw of life, the black and white. So the Chinese philosophy has the pakwa. The Korean flag is the pakwa. It's a smaller definition of a pakwa. But the formula is the same, means the same. So when you look at it, the yin-yang in the center and this and, So in the homes, the Chinese have the mirror. You know, the mirror. The mirror, you can read in the Paratrishika Vivarana, you know, as Bhagavan Sri Gupta put it reflects the whole world, you know, and the mirror is yourself, you know. When you are reflecting the whole world, you have an experience of the whole world. But if you have a broken mirror, then you are having a broken problem. So, don't break the mirror. So, how not to break the mirror is not get into negativizing situations, not getting into the problem of power, the problem of, you know, anger, the problem of hate. You know, the problem of hate comes from the problem of self-doubt. You know, when we doubt ourselves so much, then we cannot accept anybody else, and we express hate because it's very frightening, you know. I don't know if you've seen, sometimes dogs howl in the moonlight. Hate is like that. I don't know why the dogs howl. I used to walk around at night, you know, after my yoga practice, and I see the dogs howling in the midnight at the moon or something like this, you know. I think they are, I don't know what they see, ghosts or shades of the moonlight, but they are howling. And I used to be like excited with these dogs howling, you know. Why are you all howling, you know? So, when we understand, then we want to keep our inner self clean. You know, not judging, not hating, not expressing anger, not, you know, even the idea of, how would I say, urgency, you know, the lack of time or lack of money or lack of these. These are all from the limited perception of our own self. You know, we always suffer scarcity mentality. Not we, I'm just talking about an idea, not you guys, I'm just saying, you know. Scarcity mentality is a big problem. It's a problem that comes from when we are toddlers, we don't want to share. You can see some children, they don't want to share the toys. You know, they will say, no, it's mine, yours. You know, some adults also do that, you know. My ashram, my this one, my that one. You know, it's a laughable equation. How old are you is the question. So let go of the my. You know, this is what the Patanjali Yoga Sutra is talking about. Let go of all this my and this and that, and don't be attached. And then your true nature will be shining. And the world that you project is a complete world, happy world, abundant, with total potential. No? And that is all the philosophies. Please believe me, you know, all the philosophies. Please believe me again, all the philosophies. Don't look at another philosophy, this is another philosophy, that is that philosophy. You know, no. Rumi speaks the same thing, you know. Omar Khayyam speaks the same thing. Hafiz speaks the same thing. The Chinese philosophers, Chuangzi, speak the same thing. The Indians speak the same thing. The Bible is speaking the same thing. Truly, please believe me, the Quran is speaking the same thing. Because I'm speaking about all this is because nowadays there are a lot of, you know, they are Muslim, I am Hindu, you are Christian, blah, 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 blah. Please enjoy the respective spiritual philosophy. Please really get deep into it. There will be none as them and ours. There will be a universe of loving people. You know? I know, as I say this, a lot of people would like to, not you guys, you know, outside world will want to censor me. You know, so the outside world want to censor good things and show useless things to us. So the way to stop compensation is to change our attitude towards life. You know, we should culture non-dependency. You know, this is what all of them are saying. To be dependent means to have a position that creates another reaction. So what they're saying, if we are not dependent, say we are not dependent on fear, then we won't have anger, you know. So to be not dependent on fear is to be aware of the, the knowledge aspect of consciousness, like the tantrics, the Gnostics, the ancient Christians. The knowledge is very important. The Testament reflects this knowledge. Or, for example, in the Tantra world, Bhagavan Shri Gupta has written Tantra Loka, Paratrishika Vivarna, Tantra Sadbhava, Tantra, many, Tantra Sara, so many texts are there, so that we can keep ourselves with the right thought. We think correctly. It's very important to think correctly. Otherwise, we end up with all kind of sad ideas, So, if you go to the Vedics, they have the Upanishads, they have the Veda itself. So, they have many. The Quran, they have so many aspects. There are two classes of Islam, the Shia and the Sunnah. The Sunnah have many practices, very similar to the ideas of yoga. And the Shia, they have many writings, Rumi, as I said, Sadiq, and all these Hafiz, Omar Khayyam, all these are coming from the Shiite class of Islam. They're very beautiful. If you read one of them, you will see how beautiful and how clever their use of language is. This is how I got into reading Omar Khayyam, Rumi, all of them, the Hafiz, all these guys. So the whole world of spirituality is to keep us clean, really clean. Sometimes they even say, like a diamond. Like if Rumi has a parable where he's polishing the rock to such greatness, the rock becomes a mirror, which mirrors everything. So in all of them, the way to get free is to not be dependent. When we are dependent, we culture this dependency, then we are not able to move. Like in psychology, people who are suffering from trauma are not able to move. I understand today, like Dr. Van der Kolk is saying, trauma people, even the brain, the organic brain, is damaged. It's not like what people think. He's an expert in trauma, and he's saying that, like this organ itself is damaged. So, but then the organ became damaged by experience and information. So he himself is saying, doing yoga and martial arts help people to get out of this trauma, because it changes your experience field. In the yoga world, what they are saying is that, of course, you do your asanas, your pranayama, all that will change you. But underneath, there is your experiencing body, yourself that experiences. Now, if you can teach non-dependency to this experiencing being, then it changes everything. It changes the negative aspect of ourself. So, in one way, what they are saying is we have to recorrect our experience and experiencing self. When the experiencing self becomes healthy, you feel well, you experience goodness, you allow all goodness to come into your life by detaching or non-dependency. We not dependent on anything. So we are fluid, and we are able to be flexible, and this flexibility allows us to have a very beautiful experience in the planet and share this beautiful experience with everybody. No? So what they do is they cut out all the negative, thinking processes, and they keep you within the positive. If you look at the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not do that, thou shalt not do that. Why do you think they're saying that thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not do that? So that you keep yourself, not dependent on this life where we are like, taking for granted. We want to keep our soul clean. That is the whole aspect of the commandments. They want us not to be walking into confused states of life. Now if you use the word, smart in the modern world, in the present world, even the word smart means I can cheat someone or I can outsmart someone. Smart does not mean I outsmart anybody. Smart means I become clever. It doesn't mean I go and outsmart somebody in this town or, So you see how even the word smart has become contorted with our misinterpretations. So this is why the Buddha is saying, or the Buddhist systems are saying, right speech, right thought, right volition, right, 8 right he has to overcome the limitation of being born in this planet. The 4 states of being he's describing, the birth and the death, the old age and all this kind of stuff. The miseries, 4 miseries. So the whole thing is then how to get out of this compensation. So they have systems, in all of these systems. If you go and see, the Buddhists have many ritualized practices. The ritualized practices are, not so silly. The problem is there are not much Buddhists who understand this ritualization. The Tantrics also have a lot of ritualization, and Tantrics also don't understand the ritualization today, And the Vedics have a lot of ritualization, elaborate ritualizations. This ritualization is to keep us in the right track, our mind, keep our mind in the right track rather than in the angry mode, in the suspicious mode, in the self-doubt mode, in the hate mode. So it brings back to meaning and purpose of existence. It shows us, there is divine, there is the divine in every philosophy. If I speak about every philosophy, it's always boring. I don't know why. I like it because I think that the human world is round and we are all sticking out on a round ball, and I think that we are all having similar experiences, but we express it differently, and so our experiences we express differently. So then by unifying all this ideology, I didn't unify. I realized that they are all talking the same thing. I didn't put the effort to say like, wow, we have to unify all of them. No, I'm not like that. I realized that they are all talking the same thing, which is different from I attempting to unify them, So when I looked at it like, wow, so much treasure here we have in this planet. And so then how to enjoy this treasure is by becoming non-dependent. By becoming non-dependent, you stop the compensating. By stopping the compensation, there is no black and white expressions like right, wrong, my culture, your culture, my country, your country. All this black and white expression stops. There is a human world. There is a divine world. There is a really beautiful world. There are very beautiful children, From my perspective, even if you're 30 years old, you are a child because I'm getting older. So, the children are beautiful, Just teach them to be non-dependent and let them realize their Dharma. Let them realize their full potential or artha. Let them realize their love or karma. We don't want all the doctors of philosophy coming here and telling in Sanskrit karma means this, and Sanskrit karma means that, and in Sanskrit karma means this. I'm saying, please close your shop, brother. I am giving you a simple message. You are terminated. You don't have the skill to talk about Sanskrit. Just, I would like to swear, but I restrain myself now. This world is destroyed by termites, worms, vermins, So I realized, wow, these misrepresentations are causing all these kind of problems in every child because they're confused. So I thought, okay, better I just be like Gandhi and say whatever I want to say happily, So I actually like Tantra very much, of course you know that. So the path is non-dependency. Then you get out of duality, That Dvandavas that Patanjali is talking about, the world of duality, And but the Buddhists are very clever. They say the non-duality is because we are ignorant. They say there is no content to anything that we experience. Very beautiful. They are saying in Mula Madhyamika Karika, Bhagavan Nagarjuna is saying, that, even a cup, he's not literally saying that, I'm interpreting it. Even a cup is only energy, protons, electrons, neutrons, all this kind of thing. But it is because I am in the karmic dimension and I'm seeing a cup. I am using it as a cup. I pour water and drink. I pour tea and drink. It becomes a cup. So the mind is saying, the mind changes. But he's talking about not this limited human mind only. He's talking about the whole concept of mind. In Buddhism, mind is like the soul of the Vedas. So he's saying the cup became a cup because of our karmic interpretation. Otherwise, it is an energy. So it's true. What he's saying is true. And so there is no nature, this is a cow, this is a cup, this is a table. That nature is illusion, according to Nagarjuna in the Mula Madhyamika Karika. It is truly an illusion. He calls it Nishvabhava, no reality. Truly it has no reality. It is just our karmic fiction in one sense. So they are saying, if you free yourself from this, you're not dependent on this, not dependent on your vision, not dependent on your sensory world. The sensory world creates a kind of duplicate world, a world that is not truly there, And now physics, we were talking the other day, I think physics has come and accepted the fact that 2022 Nobel Prize winners, these three guys, they have kind of proven that there is no world as we imagine. We actually create our world experience. So if we create a negative world experience, then we suffer. That's almost trauma. We look at the world through fear, and so we start compensating. So if we don't do that, so we have to karmically free ourselves. So how to free ourselves karmically? It's very simple. You connect yourself to the divine. You really connect to the divine. See the divine in everything. Not like, not seeing the divine in everything is a big word in India, but nobody knows how to see the divine. Everyone is seeing, divine is somewhere, and we are like you are, you are a vegetable seller, you are a, a law clerk, you are a lawyer, you are a magistrate, you are a doctor. The essential nature is divine. Instead of seeing electrons and protons, and neutrons, what they are saying is that these electrons, protons, and neutrons are itself an energy aspect, and it's a reflection of the divine. So that is how they see, how I think we should see, you know. So then non-dependency allows us to see properly, from a state of freedom. In the tantric world, we say your third eye is open. You are seeing through your third eye rather than your two eyes, So the third eye is your mind, supermind, and it allows you to see the super aspect of life. That's why you put the dot, no? The dot on your forehead. I mean, technically I'm saying, when you do a puja, you put a dot, and the dot is parasamvid. Parasamvid is your spiritual mind, your absolute consciousness. Your absolute consciousness in a symbolic form, you're saying, all is an expression of this parasamvid, and the universe is an expression of the parasamvid. And you are looking at life and looking at yourself in a very beautiful way. You are empowering yourself rather than acting from a position of disempowerment. No? Most of us, immediately the crisis begins, we panic and then we get into a disempowered state. And this disempowered state makes us, see the world as a place of scarcity, unsafe. And then we live in a dimension of insecurities. So the tantrics, the Buddhists, as I say all the time, the whole world of spiritualism, they are seeing correctly. We lost touch with them. And I'm saying, let's reunite ourselves with the spiritual teachings of the world. So to stop the compensation, all these compensations that are based on conditionings, which are based on fear, which are based on lack of knowledge, these are all when we are small, that keeps on becoming our identity. And then from here, we are expressing. But the beautiful thing about this Tantra and all the spiritual world is they are saying something really nice. Now focus on your Dharma. Focus on your true nature. Understand your true nature. When you understand your true nature, you understand your true world experience. When you understand your true world experience and understand yourself, then your potential becomes real. You become the divine. You're looking at the world through your divine eye, the third eye, let us say. So then Dharma is very important because Dharma has two phases, or three phases, whatever you want to call, the Artha and the Kama. Kama is not like relationship between man and woman only. Kama can be read as relationship between Shiva and Shakti in yourself. You don't have to limit it to just this dimension. Limiting to this dimension, we actually do disservice to the concept of Kama. So when you go into Shiva Shakti, then you are a tantric. Then when you are in Dharma, it's a very, very important concept. The Buddhists will say Buddha Dharma. Buddha Dharma means Buddhism. They're saying if you don't have the culturing as a Buddhist or as a spiritualist, you can use it as a spiritualist. You don't have to say Buddhist because there are Christian cultures, there are Islamic cultures, there are many cultures, and they're analogous. So when you understand your Dharma, then you have your Buddha Dharma. And in your Buddha Dharma, you're studying Buddhism and looking at the world through the eyes of the Buddhist. No? And so, if you're looking at the Testament and, the Catholic philosophy or the Christian philosophy, then you are looking through the experience and knowledge of Christianity. So all are dharmas. You know what I'm trying to say? You know, dharma does not simply mean my physical self and my limited projection of this world from my physical body. No. Dharma means you are a Christian, you are a Buddhist, whatever, but you are fine. That you have to remember. You know? And from this perspective, you are having a world experience. Now that is called dhyana. Yeah? Or meditation. From this perspective, from a complete perspective, rather than a limited perspective. You know what I mean? The limited perspective is always body related, projections of the body. You know, I'm meditating. What are you meditating on? You know, and then I have 5 or 6 chakras I meditate from. You bodilized, you brought the chakra into the body level already. You know, it's very sad. The other way around is what the tantrics are talking about. And what we do, this chakra is in my tailbone, that chakra is in my, breastbone, or whatever nonsense that we are talking about in the modern world. You know, I'm saying, now, drop this body reading, these body level interpretations of things. Go into the spiritual level of interpretation. So the Buddhists are talking about the spiritual level of interpretations when they are saying Buddha Dharma. You know? And then when you are Christian, you are also reading from the soul level of interpretations. So it's very important. So Dharma then becomes a complete thing. You know, because you have been listening to me about Dharma for a long while. So I thought let's go a little bit more on the concept of Dharma, Artha and Kama. No? So then, what are we doing? So see, it becomes a different take altogether. No? And what is Artha? What is Artha? Artha then becomes your world experience. So you are in a complete, looking at everything from a complete perspective. So there is no room for fear. There is no room for confusion. There is no room for limitation. You know, there is none. The room for limitations come only because we are allowing it. You know what I'm trying to say? Because we are allowing it, because we don't exercise our knowledge. When you exercise your knowledge, you know, then there is no confusion, there is no psychological issues. There is nothing like that, no social issues, because you love everybody. You don't love only yourself. You walk out there and you look at everybody as children of God. No? Every being as children of God, because in the Lord's Prayer, every being is the children of God. No? How beautiful it is. It gives you total freedom because your attitude changed and you understand the Lord's Prayer. Just an example. You can understand anyone, Buddhism or, anything. And when you look at it, it's so wonderful that the world is actually heaven. God gave us heaven. And what we did? Bomb it. Fragmentalize it. And we call ourselves scientific, very scientific approach to the universe. And how do you think I will feel? And I don't want to talk about my feeling right now, but never mind. I'm thinking the Neanderthals are still around. It's very how I think. So Forget the scientific crap and go back to the spiritual world of beauty, and you will have a world of heaven here. That's what I have. Believe me. I keep telling Melania, I come down from heaven every day and go back to heaven every night. You know? So you can have heaven here, because when you start looking at everything as creation of God, children of God, there's no issues anymore. You know? Even you look at a cat as a creation of God. You look at a dog, it's a creation of God. You know, God created the whole universe anyway. I mean, you know, we are still trying to prove that there is another way of looking at it. You know, we are digging into the hole and looking at proton, electron, and neutron, and mathematically, you know, calculating every bit. You know, I know you can calculate forever. You know, India is the country of mathematics. No, I'm not joking. Whatever mathematics the scientists are using, all are borrowed from India. No kidding. But I don't give credit to only mathematics. You know, there is life, there is consciousness, there is divine nature to this consciousness. There is a beautiful world God gave us. You know, I'm not preaching. I'm not a moralist. You know, I'm not. It's very easy to misunderstand me as preaching a moralistic worldview, blah, 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 blah. I'm not. I'm saying something very simple and nice. Your dharma becomes your reality. Your reality allows for your real experience. The real experience is called meditation, dhyana, not staring at a candlelight or a dot on the wall, or even, you know, idioms like the Buddhists are talking about, the present-day Buddhists are talking about, you know, this God and this divinity and how they shape and how they look. I understand all that, brother. I do understand. But then that is a very limited way of looking too. You know? So there is, you becoming the Buddhist, you becoming the Christian, you becoming the Muslim. Real ones, not the fake ones that are fighting in the streets. If you believe in your divinity, if you believe in your divine scriptures, where is the fight? The fight is within me. The fight is to let go of these conditionings, this fear, this, that, embrace humanity, embrace the world, beautiful world that God has given us. Truly, He has given us the most beautiful world. You go and sit in the jungle, you see the stream, then you know how beautiful it is. You can't recreate this beauty. You can feel it. You know, all your senses starts working. And that is the world that we are living in. And this is your dharma. To experience that world. To share that world. To preserve that world. I think that is very beautiful. Whatever path we take. There are many paths. You know, Buddhism, Tantricism. In Buddhism itself, Tantricism, non-Tantric. Many in Buddhism itself. So all this Vedism, in Christianity, Islam, there are the esoteric teachings. They have very, very beautiful esoteric teachings. And that is called Tantricism in, how do I say, adapted in Sanskrit, anglicized Sanskrit, you know. So it's a beautiful world. And it's your beautiful nature. And you're going to experience this beautiful thing. You know? That's your worldview. That's what you are.